Chapter 1. Hey, sweetheart. Marty grabbed the server's wrist and pulled her closer to him. How about you join us? You must be due a break. Leave the poor girl alone, Marty. Clara Hunter looked up briefly from the case note she was studying. No one wants that. Give it a rest, Hunter. Marty released the woman's wrist and stubbed out a cigarette in the ashtray. Just because you like snuggling up to case notes at night, you don't speak for all women. Just the sane ones. Clara didn't look up again when she spoke, but the server sniggered and moved away. Now look, you scared her off, Marty teased. Not that the rear view is a disappointment. He leaned back in his chair and studied the woman shamelessly. Christ alive, Marty. Clara glanced at the retreating woman. Her black leather miniskirt and red off-the-shoulder top left very little to the imagination, and Clara swallowed. You're old enough to be her father, she concluded weakly. I'd let her call me Daddy. Marty laughed, took his pack of cigarettes from his pocket, and offered the pack to Clara. No thanks. I'm cutting back. You need to get a vice, Hunter. He laughed as he took one and lit it. Guys don't trust you if you don't have something human about you. I'm drinking, aren't I? Clara swirled the whiskey over the ice cubes in her glass and took a sip. You can't call that drinking. Marty downed his drink and eyed her. Loose the shoulder pads and loosen up a bit. Jesus. Fine. Clara snapped, downed her drink and slammed the folder shut. Same again? Now you're talking, Hunter. He laughed as she picked up her purse and headed to the bar. Same again? The server greeted her. Yes, please. Your friend had a bit too much? The woman asked as she poured the drinks. You want me to call you a cab home? He's not my friend. He's a colleague. Clara handed over a $10 bill. I got my own transport. Thank God. She grinned at the server. Their eyes met, and they looked at each other briefly. Thank you for asking that, though. It was thoughtful. She smiled, picked up the drinks, and moved back to the table. Last one for me, Hunter, Marty said as he took the drink from her. I told Donna I'd call her from the motel at a reasonable time. Hope her idea of a reasonable time matches yours, Claire observed as she reopened the file and continued to study it. She gets it. Job's tough. Guy needs to unwind. He rose and took his raincoat from the back of his chair and pulled it on, keeping a cigarette between his lips. Once the jacket hung loosely at his sides, he removed the cigarette and added, Try to relax. It'll get too much for you otherwise. The job. It's tough on all of us. You have to unwind. I'll see you tomorrow. She offered him a weak smile as he turned to leave before returning to the file. It was all very well, him saying that. She had worked really hard to get here, and she fought every day to be taken seriously. She had to be better than everyone else just to stay where she was. They were just waiting for an excuse to shove her behind a desk where she couldn't break a nail or something. She knew it, and she wouldn't let that happen. Hey! It was the server again. You forgot your change. She placed it on the table next to Clara. I didn't. Clara smiled. Think of it as compensation. Don't apologize for them, the server said firmly, placing the change in front of her. It's about damn time men started taking responsibility for their own behavior, don't you think? Clara felt herself smiling, despite herself, and looked up from her case file. Now wouldn't that be something? She grinned. We can dream, right? The woman winked at her. I'm Red. Her eyes sparkled. Clara. What's this? Red nodded to the open case file in front of Clara. Fortunately, she was currently working through an ME's report and hadn't reached the photographs yet. Nothing, just work. Clara shut the file and put it back in her briefcase. What's work? Red eyed Clara with curiosity. Can't you tell from my outfit? Clara grinned. I'm not usually this tightly wound.